10 seconds. What's going on? Hey, how are you guys?
Can you hear me? Hi, Andrew. Hi, Jim.
Hey, you like that intro?
Great.
That was good, wasn't it? All right. So, hey, guys, we've got two of my good friends here and one longtime friend and one new friend that's rolling in, although we have a little history together from Richmond, Indiana, the big metropolis. So I'm here with Sarah Jordan and Jim Pruett. And we wanted to kind of introduce Sarah to a lot of you guys who don't know Sarah. And of course, everybody knows Jim Pruett because he's a rock star. But Sarah, welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome aboard.
That's right. So we're pretty excited. So Sarah's joining eXp, or has joined eXp Realty. And naturally, it's been, let's see, it's going on 3 to 4 weeks now, right?
Yes, about a month. Okay. And it's been a whirlwind because, of course, I chose to join right at the beginning of busy season. So trying to juggle all of these new systems and processes and new listings. And in fact, I have this earnest money check that I haven't deposited yet because I have the app. I did the training, but it's still sitting here because I haven't deposited it yet. But I'm still learning. And, you know, it's fun to learn all these new things because if we're not growing, we're dying, right? So
exactly.
It's, just might as well awesome. Just do it all at the same time.
Well, you know, that's the problem. I think a lot of us get complacent, and you know, complacency is the first sign of pain in my book, at least in my experience. So Jim Pruett from Madison, Indiana, he is a longtime friend. Met Jim. We both had Remax franchises. I think I met him. We both had a couple cocktails, and we were in Indianapolis one night and had an awards banquet, and we were able to meet many years ago. Stayed friends ever since, and of course he joined eXp a couple years ago and has been crushing it down on the river, Indiana, Southern Indiana. So if anybody ever wants to go to the coolest town that not many people have been to, that
That's
literally is movie picture type of town, is Madison. So welcome, Jim.
Yep. Thank you, Andrew. Thanks for having me on today, and you know, it's a pleasure. And you said a couple years, man. It's this is 2022. I've iconed 4 times, so it's going on the 5th year, man. It's hard to believe that the time has flown by. That you know, it's like a couple of years ago. It's been 4 years, buddy. So
that's crazy.
Happy to be here, and we're happy to bring Sarah aboard, and she's looking forward to big things with Sarah.
Oh, that's awesome. So Sarah, where the heck is Lawrenceburg, Indiana? You got to hook us up. I know where it is because we go down there quite a bit. Tell the world.
This is another one of those towns like Madison, Indiana that probably no one's ever heard of, but Lawrenceburg is located just outside of Cincinnati on the west side, on the 275 loop. We're Dearborn County, Indiana, and proud to be in that area. I live in northern Dearborn County, right where I-74 runs through, kind of the connector between Cincinnati and Indianapolis. So I like living right there where I can hop on the interstate. But Lawrenceburg is known for being right on the river. We have a casino in our town, which brings a lot of money back into our small town of about 5,000 people. But it's easy to commute to northern Kentucky or Cincinnati. So it's kind of got that safe, small town, quaint living, but right outside the city. So it's got the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
what's one product that's made there in Lawrenceburg?
Oh, and we have Seagram's whiskey is made in Lawrenceburg. So
they do a lot of bottling for a lot of different bourbon companies around. So turn around the back of the bottle and it might have Lawrenceburg, Indiana on there. So
that's great.
I'd say that's our biggest export.
So. And then Madison is known for the little sticks, the twirly sticks
we have the Royer Swizzle Stick Factory here in Madison. So if you go to a bar somewhere or on an airplane, turn it over and see if it says Royer, Royer, and they make Swizzle sticks that go all around the world. So I think Swizzle Stick Factory in Madison.
I think nobody else in the world makes Swizzle sticks except for Madison, Indiana. So you got that covered.
I don't even know what that is.
You know, when you get a cocktail and you have a little plastic stir stick.
Oh, the little thing?
The little plastic one that has a logo on it.
The stick, like the little sword?
Yeah. But it might have a golf club, or it might have the logo of the casino or the logo of the hotel on it. that little
Okay, I
plastic, it's a
gotcha.
hard brittle stick. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty cool.
We've digressed. All right. So Sarah, now I wanted to kind of ask you, so, here you have your own brokerage. You're the co-founder of LUXE Real Estate. You've got all kinds of cool things going on in your life. You specialize in farms. You just listed how big was the farm you just listed? It was a killer one,
This
right?
week, I got my biggest listing ever, a 200-acre farm, and we listed it for $1,499,000.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Cool.
That is
Cool.
great.
Cool.
So you specialize in farms.
I'm hoping it sells, so then I can, get that EXP cap out of the way.
That's right. That's right. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But so why? I mean, here you have your own brokerage. Awesome building right downtown Lawrenceburg, super successful. And why basically associate or join arms with us and EXP?
Good question. So honestly, the past year I'd really been searching for how to grow and expand, just get to be around other like-minded, forward-thinking people. I think we can all get in our tunnels, our little silos of where we live, and especially in our county and kind of Southeast Indiana, and everywhere. I mean, no matter where you're at, if we're in real estate, it gets very competitive in our small local market. And I was wanting to think outside that and really expand and find people to collaborate with, because my business had changed a little bit. I was more on my own again. And I loved the autonomy of being on my own and being in control of my own branding and my own destiny with all of that. But I also was and just the training and just the forward thinking. So when I ran into Andrew at the Cincinnati Boat and Travel Show, I introduced myself to him because I knew he was Richmond Red Devil from Richmond,
That's
Indiana,
right.
where I went to high school as well and grew up. And he sells properties in Lake Lockengrin, which I'm real familiar with growing up in that area as well. So we kind of hit it off and just chatted. I told him I was in real estate, and obviously he was someone I knew about and looked up to from afar as being a very successful realtor in the area, and was glad to make that connection. So kind of by the hands of fate, this all came together. And Andrew reached out to me after that and said, hey, I'd like to tell you more about EXP. I've been with RE/MAX for years. I had my own Better Homes and Garden franchise, but I'm with this company now, and it's just outstanding. Just the growth and the revenue talk. And so it really sparked my interest. And he sent me a couple videos to watch, and then he came down, and I appreciate that he the trip all the way down to Lawrenceburg from Dayton, and we sat down and talked for a couple hours, and I just really saw that he was really invested in EXP. And I had mentioned I knew Jim Pruett sort of through from being in our area too. So enough, Jim was on his team, and so it all just kind of came together, and I'm just so thankful for both of you. And I felt like it was definitely fate, and I knew in my gut it was what I needed to do. I didn't even know much about EXP, but as the more I learn and the more people I meet in the company, just the more excited I get, because I get it. Like, I see what's happening. It's growing really fast, and there's a reason for that. And I'm just excited to be on the train.
Well, we're excited to have you. And Jim lives about, was it 45 minutes to an hour away? Is that kind of the distance?
Yeah,
about an hour away.
Yep. You guys kind of overlap in certain areas, so it was a natural fit. And
I think I showed one of her listings is how we met first time.
Yeah, so that's real exciting.
Yes,
and,
yeah.
As you get into the business, I mean, obviously, when we first sat down and talked, there's a whole nother conversation that a lot of people have surrounding their position, where they are, what they like about where they're at, and also what their goals are long term. And I know we talked a lot, and we kind of joked about, we don't see many agents have retirement parties. Most agents, when they just, quite frankly, they just
fade away.
They fade away when they can't do it health wise anymore. And with that, it's kind of an interesting situation, because as we look forward to our business, and I think the longer that we're in it, and Jim and I got started at a young age, we realized that if we don't do something different, then we're going to keep doing the same thing every year. And yeah, the fallacy is, hey, if we can make more money, make more commission this year coming up, we can put that difference between what we make this year and next year in the bank. And it doesn't happen, because the reality is it costs more money to make more money. So creating wealth was kind of a big thing that when you and I sat down and talked, you're like, hey, I'd like to be able to do what I love to do. I don't really want to change selling real estate, but I also want to create some more wealth building opportunities out there. And, naturally, I think you were attracted a little bit to that part of it. But then once you're in it, we started talking, and, you're like, man, I love the stock and I love the revenue share. But you just mentioned last time we talked about the collaborative standpoint. So tell us a little bit about, kind of what your pleasant surprise was as you joined.
So this is just funny, because if people are out there listening, they might not know about the EXP world and the metaverse that we work in, but I had to laugh because I got on the state meeting Tuesday morning, and it was really good. And, it really feels like you're with these people, even though it's all via computer. But there was a woman up on stage, and she started like dancing, and I was just cracking up. Like, this is, it's just funny, but it is really collaborative, because I feel like, there's 700 plus agents in the state of Indiana with EXP now, but I feel like I can call that managing broker or either one of them, and Dave McLean or Morris, and they respond to my emails really quickly. And it just feels like everybody's on board. Everybody's working, and it's productive. It's efficient. I love that. It just makes so much sense. And then the collaboration, like I said, I just had lunch yesterday with some very high producing realtors out of the Cincinnati area with EXP. That'd be Holly and Tom Maloney and their team. And they were just great. I mean, they want to share everything that they know with other EXP agents. And one thing that actually came up was, there is a little bit of, I guess, maybe in the Cincinnati area, some negative energy towards EXP. And I think that's because people are just threatened by it a little bit. But I mean, if you know Holly and Tom, like, they are just so down to earth and just love what they do. And it was just great, because I feel like I have this team now. I've even had lunch with another gal I met at a networking event. They had a EXP and a Bitcoin presentation happy hour in Cincinnati a few weeks ago. And I've met some really, really cool people, and they're really forward thinking. And I mean, this is the way the world's going. And I loved when Tom was up there talking about one of the investors, I can't think of his name, that got in early. And, he owned 7 RE/MAX franchises in Texas. And he came home after learning about EXP, and he said to his wife, he said, Blockbuster, he said, do you know what Netflix is? And she said, yeah. And he said, well, we own 7 Blockbusters. And they decided to sell those franchises quickly, and they all became EXP. And obviously you can't just resist, progression in life. We have to get on board with it. With technology is huge in real estate, and finding those buyers. I think we're seeing that a lot too. People are leaving some of the coastal areas and where it's more expensive, maybe cost of living. And I mean, I'm noticing that too. More people are relocating to the Midwest, and in order to reach those buyers, even globally, we're going to need this technology that we have. And I'm just grateful to have that, because one small broker could never recreate what we have as a team.
No, you're right. Well, let's unpack that a little bit, because there was a lot of golden nuggets there. So Gene Frederick is who you were talking about. He was one of Gary Keller's right-hand guys, and he owned a region and had several offices. And, he what kind of the same way that, when you say that a little negative connotation or a little negative mojo in Cincinnati, probably the same way that Blockbuster felt as their market share was declining. They probably didn't have a lot of nice things to say about Netflix. Oh my gosh, you got to order the CDs and they come in the mail. And you know what I mean? I can only imagine, but they can't change it, and we can't change what's going to happen. There's always going to be something. When you first started talking about the collaboration in the world is a metaverse. So I think more and more people know what a metaverse is now, due to Facebook and Meta and, Mark and how he kind of rebranded everything. We've been using the metaverse for since the inception of EXP. And it's basically the biggest, and I wanted to explain this. We as individual agents do not work our day-to-day activities in the world. We operate just like everybody else. We have our own offices, we do our own things. But the corporate side of EXP, the employees of EXP, they operate exclusively in the world. I mean, you still call them, you can still email them, but when they get up and go to work, they get up and go to work in the metaverse. And what that means is they could be in their basement in Jacksonville, Florida, in their pajamas, and yet they look professional, or they look the way they're dressed in as their avatar in the world. And you can pop a button on your screen. You walk in, you're there, you have conversations, and eerily, like you said, Sarah, you feel like you just had a meeting with somebody because the mannerisms and everything are right there. So anybody out there that wants to learn about the EXP world, just go to YouTube, watch a couple EXP world videos. It'll show you exactly what's going on. But it is the most efficient way that I've ever seen to communicate with corporate office. It's more efficient than even going in and talking to my broker that I used to have to do in my own office, because half the time he wasn't there. Most of the time he was on the golf course. I couldn't reach him on the weekends. And yet here I am. There's always somebody on call that I can go into and have that conversation. They slide the slides, all the data, everything directly to your computer because you're on your computer already. So it's like, man, it's seamless. So it's great stuff. So I wanted to kind of explain to you what that meant when you were talking about the world, or explain to everybody. The other thing is the collaborative effort. We as agents, we've kind of grown up in an environment where you get your, here I am, I've got my license. What do? The broker would say, okay, there's your desk. And in my case, I'm so stinking old. It was like, here's your phone book, go make your calls, or here's the newspaper, call the 4 sub owners. I mean, that's what we had to do. But everybody in that office was a competitor of mine. I had a really good friend. We're still good friends. He would come to my desk and he could read upside down better than I could read facing forward. I mean, he knew everything about what was on my desk. So everybody's hiding everything. And, it was a scarcity mentality, I guess, is where we're coming with this. EXP is totally different. I mean, we all are owners in the company. As everybody does better, even though you're not in an alignment and downline, in your downlines, you're still in alignment with the corporation. The more you do well, the more people in California are going to do well, Sarah and Jim. So it's a real collaborative environment. Plus, it's kind of us against them with a kind of a more of a abundance mentality. And that's just at the core of who we are now. So the more we share, the more deposits we make in people's lives, the more it's going to come back. It's like Zig Ziglar. You help enough people get what they want in life, guess what? You're going to get what you want. And that's a wonderful, wonderful environment. I think it's so funny you said that, because most people, they're excited about their car being paid for with their revenue share checks. They're excited about the stock they're getting at a 10% discount. I mean, immediately having a 10% return on your money. Hell, it'd take most brokerages, the whole year to return 10% in an average market. Here, the minute you buy the stock with your money that you have earned in EXP, you get it for 10% less. So it's like you just got a 10% return on your investment. But beyond all that, it still comes down to the collaboration and how you are going to get better. And we're going to get better because you're with us. We're going to learn from you as you learn from us and everybody else in the network. And I'm super, super excited about that. And that's what's changed our business.
One of the things she mentioned, Andrew, was when she went into the world there and saw the person dancing. One of the 9 core values in the EXP core value system is fun, having fun. So
yes,
and that the EXP has a core value wheel, and you can Google it. I mean, just look at EXP core values, and you'll see one of those is fun. So it's not only work hard, transparency, have fun, and you were talking about the corporate headquarters. The corporate headquarters in Bellingham, Washington, is 1,200 square feet. But there's 1,300 employees that work around the world, in the world, around the world, that you have complete access to at any time at just a moment's notice by jumping on the world there. Jump into accounting, you can jump into whatever, wherever you need help. Agent setup, and I don't know if Sarah's had the opportunity to, if she's had any questions with that. I'm a big relationship and systems person, so Sarah's and her assistant are going to come down. They came down once, looked at our systems. They're going to come back down again. We're going to help her with the systems to try to get everything systemized for her, that A happens, B happens, C happens, and it does it in a very sequential order where there's more time for selling, more time for family life. If you are proactive instead of reactive, everything happens in an order. And right order, right time. Where
Yes.
we heard that.
Well, what's going to be fun to watch is when she takes your systems and then turns around and calls you the next time and says, "Hey, Jim, I think we could do this better." And now
That's right.
you've got a next iteration of that. It's
Right.
No,
just
Jim's
wait.
systems are pretty good. I have no reason to reinvent those, but
Yeah.
Well, there's
Yeah.
constant evolving.
I
you know
like
what I
what
mean? I was going to say constantly it's evolving.
I was going to say. I like what.
Good.
Okay. Sorry, we're all talking at once, aren't we? We're all so excited. I like what Jim said about the transparency. I think that's another huge key here. Everybody's on the same split. I think that's great. I love that because, if you're at a different brokerage, everybody's competing for like 5% more, 10% more. And it just kind of fosters this feeling of like, oh, they value this person over me. I love that EXP is like, this is where we're at, but you have that ability to, obviously cap out and then make that money in stock and then help recruit and just, like I said, I'm still very green learning all of this, but it just makes sense to grow your downline and your team and, bringing more people on board that will be excited and want to work here or work with us as well. So,
yeah, well, it's going to be, it's going crazy. I think I had a little, was it 80? Yeah. 80,000. I was just looking at that. Over 80,000 agents now. And Jim, I mean, it's crazy. Like when I joined, it was 4,000 agents.
Yep.
We fit everybody at the convention in a picture. I mean, imagine now 80,000, soon to be 100,000. So it's pretty cool. I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about, you were mentioning the equity piece and the agent attraction piece. So for those of you that are listening out there, essentially it's the same split as exactly what Sarah said. For an individual agent, everybody's on an 80-20 split. It's kind of genius. There's a $16,000 cap. So once you pay the EXP $16,000, you basically do not have to pay them anymore in terms of a split. There is a small transaction fee up to another, essentially another $5,000 worth of transaction fees over time. So it's $250 per transaction for 20 transactions. The beautiful thing about that is once you hit that 20, you turn around and they give you your $16,000 back in stock. So it's like you're working there for almost free, which is amazing. Obviously you have to produce, and there's no favoritism. It is what it is. It's such a good thing. It stands on its own. I mean, and like I certainly have a lot of other brokerages in our market that are discount brokerages, that are low cost brokerages, that are cheaper splits and cheaper this and that. But they're selling air. There's not a lot of there. I mean, of course, if you're going to get 100% of zero, what is that? It's still zero. Your EXP is just a very, very good, solid plan for people that are producing. And then there's, of course, the incentive for all of us to help every one of us be more productive. It's just not about getting somebody in the door that's a breathing a body. In order for everybody to excel, we all have to be producing. That's why when you look at the quality and the average closed transactions per agent, the average volume, I don't know where we stand now, but we were neck and neck with number one and number two in terms of where we stood with that across the country, which is amazing because that's the platform kind of breeds itself or lends itself for those types of agents. So again, pretty exciting stuff. Do you want to talk, Jim, a little bit about the agent attraction piece and how I know that's not something, we're not out there recruiters out there just recruiting every day. And that's just not the way it works. Talk to us about how just opportunities come up when you're dealing with good, solid agents in the market, you're doing transactions, and you basically just introduce the opportunity.
Right. So one other small thing to add is that the Arizona emissions caps at $500 a year also. So I know one of the last years I was with my previous brokerage, I paid almost $2,000 a year. I do a lot of transactions here. Over 100 transactions a year. If that's $40 or $50 a transaction at your brokerage, that can add up to a lot of money. So you take that into consideration also. But it's been a mindset change with me to actually go from that kind of competitive competition with other agents to like, you know what? It's not a competition with these other agents. It is, they have a job, I have a job, and then I'm going to try to show them how they can maybe better themselves with this system that we have. And so it becomes, we have a transaction with somebody, another agent, hey, thanks, great job on your end. And then, hey, just let me sit down sometime. I had a girl that was going to come in last week, and then something happened within her family, but she's going to come back in next week. We're just going to sit down. She's got an accepted offer on one of my listings. We're going to talk about, just show her the video that you'll probably mention here in a minute, but it's the model explained,
The model explained.
modelexplained.com. Yeah. So that's probably the best way to sit down and watch that video with those new agents, or those soon to be new agents. And it answers a lot of stuff. And Brent Gove explains it very, very well. And he's high energy and very thankful of his past experiences. And that's what I think we're all got to where we're at through some very positive past experiences. We've been with different brokerages, and those all have been very positive, but we're always looking for something to better us. And that old saying goes that your income is the average income of your 7 closest friends. So really think about where you want to be. If you're hanging in a gutter with 7 people, you're going to be hanging in the gutter. I mean, that's where you're at. So you were talking about it the other day, Andrew, about with your son, and you say, I can tell you what trajectory you're going to be on based on what kids you hang around with in high school,
Right.
And so that is true from a very young age, even. So being able to have these people that within the EXP system that you feel like you know them because you have seen so many videos of them, you've watched videos and training and so forth. I mean, if I walked up in front of Daniel Beer, he wouldn't know who I was, but I feel like I know him. Or there's John Kitchens, who Andrew is so graciously having helped coach us all as a team. And leading right into your next point, maybe by dumb luck, but and it's every successful agent that I know has a coach, and
Right.
we're always striving to be better. So, and by the way, thank you for having these monthly coaching sessions with John Kitchens, and I look forward to those every month.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. I'm glad you said it because I about forgot about it. We, with our organization, we basically have hired John Kitchens to do free coaching for everybody in the organization, which is on top of all the stuff that we get from NAEA, Jay, and Mike and Al. They all basically have opened up their playbooks for us with NAEA content, but now we have John Kitchens every third Wednesday of the month live at our disposal, which is great. And I love the fact that everybody's getting together. I mean, in these Zoom calls, we'll have, sometimes 40, 50 people in there just kind of answering, collaborating, all from different markets all over the country. It's just really, really exciting. And that's really what this is all about. I know personally, when I was introduced to what I call the mastermind group of NAEA, I was doing well. And I thought, man, I'm great. This is cool. I'm doing 130 deals a year or whatever the number was. And, I'll go there and just, see what I know. Well, hell, it wasn't but 2 or 3 years and I had doubled and then tripled. And it's because I was in the right room with the right people. And it's exactly what happens. You get sucked up. You don't want to be a better golfer playing with bad golfers. You go play with Tiger Woods, right? You're going to learn better. And that's where we are so blessed and so excited, Sarah, to have you part of our organization. Obviously, you're keeping your own brand. You're keeping your own. It's everything's the same for you as far as how you do business on the day to day. You still have your company. All that's the same. You just have that little EXP connection, the collaboration, everything. And we are just really, really excited to have you on board.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. And, EXP is not real popular in Southeast Indiana yet. I mean, we're still, Remax and Keller Williams kind of dominate our small area, but, there's more of a buzz about it. And I'm definitely going to help bring that to our area. And, I want to recruit awesome people to be on my team too. And I mean, there's really no reason why not, right? I mean, it's just, even Holly was telling me yesterday, Holly Maloney out of Cincinnati, and she said another agent came up to her at an event and said, why didn't you call me? Like, why didn't you recruit me sooner? And she's like, well, she goes, I don't really make recruitment my big thing. She goes, just the people that have joined her team are people she is working with. And when people do find out about it, and if they are open-minded enough to see where this is going and going fast, I think it's just mind blowing. So like I said, I'm excited. I had known a little bit about EXP in the past. Jim was really the only agent I knew of that, was kind of prominent with EXP in Southern Indiana. So like I said, it was just kind of funny how this all fell together pretty quickly. But again, I believe there's a reason behind everything that happens. And I'm just excited. I feel so energized. I have not felt this way in probably 2 years. And I just am excited. I'm going to have Elizabeth, that's my assistant. She's going to get her license this summer, hopefully, fingers crossed. So she'll be joining my team. But I look forward to just trying to collaborate with other people and, in other small towns around here. All of us have worked in real estate for a while, so we know like the people that have good ethics, that are high producers, that focus on bigger things versus, oh my gosh, I'm going to try to get this person in trouble because their first sale sign was out there a day earlier, a day late, or whatever. Like we don't think like that, and that's the biggest thing I can say is breath of fresh air, because coming out of this little local board or small MLS, like it can be very catty. People are competitive; they want that listing. But it's so silly if you're too busy like turning in other people for like advertising an expired listing or what. I mean, how are you really spending your time, right? Like if you're tripping over dollars to find pennies, right? So that was a big thing for me too. It really was not a hard decision at all. Of course, I gave up being my own managing broker. I gave up 100% of holding the commissions, but what I've gained is so much more important than what I've sacrificed. So.
Well, that I do want to make
to me, this is a huge upward move in my career, and I'm so excited.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because it is that's what happened to me too. It's like you can be the broker without being the broker. There's a lot of things you loved about being the broker that you can still be in the EXP environment without having all the back end headache of all the compliance and all that. Right. It's kind of like you're getting to do the good stuff. And Jim, I know you the same way, and we've all been there. Now it's just time. Yep. Now it's just time to get out there, have connections. I mean, we do this business because we love people, we love relationships, and we love helping people. And the more we can do that, the better.
Yep. And that's my two top things, relationships. And that's how I've built my business. My personal business has been built on relationships. It's, you got to have all these tools. You got to have, stuff on the internet, electronic. All those are just tools in your toolbox. Real estate is still a belly to belly business. You still have to go out, and it's about relationships. And that's how that's how my business has been built, on the relationships. And then you have to have the systems to maintain and maintain those relationships, and then get the business done once you get that business. So, but it's still a relationship business, and we love what we do. I have, everybody thinks about, well, you got to be a recruiter. You have to recruit. You don't have to recruit anybody. If you love selling real estate, you're going to do better, and you have a whole big team around you. So it's not about it. It's not a recruiting, and even if it were about recruiting, how many of you have tried to been recruited by agent, from brand A, brand B, brand C, brand D? They all of those people are out trying to get people on their team. So it's not a recruiting, it's a bunch of great agents getting together, helping each other. Rising tide lifts all boats. As Jay and Michael and you guys say, a bunch of little fires, put them all together, and you have one big fire, man. So it's an exciting time.
You got it. Well, it's good times to be in real estate. Obviously, this model works in good times and bad, because there's always the ebbs and flow. But we're pumped up. I wanted to mention you earlier today. You said the modelexplained.com. That's a wonderful video for you guys out there that want to learn a little bit more about EXP. It breaks it down. It's very short, sweet. And if you don't know Brent Gove, hell, I'd watch him if he was selling hot dogs. I mean, he's just fun to watch, right? So check that out, themodelexplained.com. Get with Sarah. If you have any questions, of course, Jim and I are available to talk as well, but we would be happy to talk to you, explore, set up a meeting, set up a Zoom, and we would love to at least help you understand what you're saying no to. If that's something that you say no to, at least you're going to know. But it is a changing world, and we're hoping to be part of it, and we'd love for you to join us. So thank you very much. You guys have a great rest of your evening here today, and we'll hope to see you guys soon. Okay.
Thanks, Andrew.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Jim.
Bye.